Okay, what I'm going to do is show you the two selection tools that we'll be using primarily to do the selections whenever we're trying to select one object within a picture in Photoshop. We have a couple of different selection tools over on the side. There's marquee, ellipse, single row marquee, single column. These are primarily if you're trying to select specific shapes. Then we have the lasso, which allows us to trace around the outside of objects. And then there's some really nice ones under the quick selection and magic wands. So what I'm going to use is the quick select. Quick select is really neat. It works very easily. It's just as simple as clicking on an object and kind of dragging around it. When I click on my quick select tool, I should see a circle outside of my brush. Right now all it is a dot. So what I'm going to do is come over and change my brush size. Now when I come back out, I see that I have a bigger brush size. I want to try to adjust my brush to whatever it is I'm selecting. So for example, out on these wings, my brush might be a little too big and it might start selecting things I don't want. So I'm going to choose a brush size that's going to be able to select, especially down onto this beak. I'm going to have to resize my brush as I get out into their beaks. Now one problem I have right now is I already have a marquee already on there. Anytime I have a selection, I only can work inside of that selection. So the first thing I need to do is deselect that. I can hit Control D and that gets rid of that deselect. I can also go up to Select and hit Deselect. So I'm going to go and I'm going to readjust my brush size again, and I'm just going to start dragging. Notice as I drag, it's just selecting the area inside of my little selection circle. And I'll show you what to do if you make a mistake and select something you don't want. See, now I'm starting to get out into my sand. It's now selected all of this inside of there. If I hold down the Alt key, notice how the plus sign in the middle of my circle, my selection circle, changes to a minus. What that allows me to do is now I can come inside and subtract all of this stuff that I didn't want. Oh, but I got the leg again, so let's come out. I can change my brush size down a little bit and come in here and get that out. And now I just have my little penguin feet. Oh, I need to get this out. I don't want my sand over here. And now I can start working into the beak with a smaller size. Whoop. Got into some sun. Get rid of that. Right now I got all these penguins. We see some bright spots over here which I need to select. Quick Select is a fantastic selection tool. The speed at which you can select is amazing. Used to be you had to use lasso, and it would take a very, very long time. This quick select tool has gotten much better. It's gotten smarter, so it makes your lives easier. Now you need to make sure you do a good job on your selections, because the whole point is to make it relatively unnoticeable. So when you move your image out and move it over, we should barely be able to see the result. Now this isn't perfect, but I'm ready to try moving it. So I'm going to open a new image. I'm going to make this crazy. I'm going to put some penguins in with a jellyfish. I'm going to grab that jellyfish off. I'm going to take my penguins, go to my move tool, and I can drag those penguins right onto my jellyfish. I'll expand this. I can move my penguinos around. Notice I got a giant chunk on the inside of this now. I can cut that out. I can go back into my handy dandy selection tool, and I can use the eraser because it will only erase wherever I have selection. I need to adjust my hardness and my opacity all the way up. And now I've deleted that. Notice how you can still see kind of a hard edge. If we do a much better job, we can soften that edge and it won't be as visible. So that is using the Quick Select tool.